Good morning. Another good day here in Vancouver. I don't know how is your day where you live, but here it's a perfect day. Perfect day to go to work and feel the joy of having a job, being in a good health. Actually, today my joints are easy on me, and I'm ready for the tonight adventure because I'm going to make the day the way I want it. So I'm fortunate here in Vancouver when compared to other places and other countries. Like I spoke to my brothers, and it's a bit different. So you can make a good life there. Depends of reference point. If you come from a very poor background, if you had it tough and rough all your life, then maybe now it's a bit better. If you came from let's say a third world country where you had trouble to put stuff on your table, and you got to one of those countries which are now in lockdown, maybe now it's easier for you, and maybe you're not complaining much. So again, it's all relative. So before I get into the thought I was trying to share, I want to say that I have a strong feeling that this coronavirus whole thing is either stupidity of the governments, which I don't believe it is. I don't believe that countries elected their leaders. Those countries who elected those leaders are made of so many, like billions of stupid people. So generally the leader is sort of a mirror of the society they live in or they lead. So it's not always the case, but generally if the elections are fair and are not, let's say, you know what I mean, then the leaders generally represent people's thinking, people's wishes. I'll touch that one in a moment. I need to be focus on the traffic as well. So this coronavirus, I don't believe that the governments or the leaders of the countries are that stupid to listen to some World Health Organization or follow some countries who got in trouble and say, okay, let's do that, and cut the freedoms of the people. So sometimes you have to go hard, because I see here in Canada, the government is a little bit lenient for different reasons. One reason is that you don't have enough law and order forces to control so many people that are spread on a very wide surface. There's no way. Here in Canada, it's a big country and you can't do that. In a smaller country, you have people in packs, in condensed areas, and you put a couple of guys with guns and shotguns, whatever devices, killing devices, machines they have on hand, and it's enough to kill one person, then everyone runs away. Okay, so that's a bullying technique. It happened all the time for thousands of years. That's the way the bullies take control. So because they don't know other means of communication, they use the force, the brute force, and the killing force to scare people and keep people in control. So that's their way. In Canada, it's a bit different. like I said, it's difficult to get the soldiers, which are not so many, get the soldiers on the street with machine guns and scare people. That's not at this stage. And also, Canadian soldiers are a little bit different. I would say they have some smarts, and they are here to protect people. Are not here to make the order. They are here to protect people from outside invaders and from natural disasters. So that's the main purpose of a soldier here in Canada. I don't know how it is in China. Maybe Chinese soldiers they do mandatory service, or maybe they do, like in some countries they elected to do that. They picked as a job and they get paid, and they knew, okay, I'm going to kill people if I have to, if I'm required to. So I can't say. But again, the way I see it now, I see it like a scam, manipulation, with a specific purpose. So whoever is able to control billions of people and spread a panic like that, and control the media, people behind these things have enough, not mental capacity, but enough people in places, because you can't just be like some of the Bill Gates guy who has lots of money and who have some connections here and control the world and tell the world, yeah, I'm going to vaccinate you, something. No, you need more than that. You need people in all level of the government. So you need leaders who can manage the people below them. It's like in a company, in a corporate environment. You have the manager who has some authority, and then you have the board, and you have the managers and the micromanagers and the team leaders and stuff. So those people at the top, they just send orders, and team leaders, they control the people under them, because that's their purpose, is to control those guys to get things done. So the same thing with this virus thing. So you have these people who are able to send orders down to those in charge at the local level. So at the local level, they get some emails or some faxes or whatever forms of communication they have, and say, you know what, now you do that, you do the lockdown, or you do this, you do the hospital thing, you whatever. And because they have hard time now with democracy and stuff, they have hard time to control the masses, the media comes into play. So the media does a good job at controlling the masses' fear level. So once the people are afraid, then they are afraid of anything. So you have to make people very afraid of something unknown. Then once they are into the fear, they lose control over the power of judgment. They can't judge between right, wrong, good, bad, or something. It's like they get dumb. And I've done stupid mistakes, I can tell you that. Once I got into panic because I was afraid for my parents and stuff and other people. Then I realized I did silly mistake that I don't think I did age that sudden. I did not change my brain within a week. No, these mistakes are related to the fear, to the panic. Then I changed. And now I am calm. I'm relaxed. And so I got to work, so I had to shorten this one. So you make those mistakes, and you realize you're dumb, and you need leaders. And now these local community leaders, they are happy. They have it easy to control because they got orders from the top, and they want to maintain their power, their political power, and they are happy with that. That's why they got up to the ladder in a political scheme because they love control. They love control. Not everyone is the leader, a real leader. Real leaders are a little bit different than the managers and control freaks that who want power, like Donald Trump or whatever. So you have these people who now, with the media, used as a tool, because media makes money. Okay, so media is happy. So, they don't really jump in to help uh, some people at the political level. In some cases, they might, but now they just jumped for an opportunity. And the same thing with the Bill Gates guy. I'm quite sure it's not his stuff. Like he did not order any virus or something. I don't think so. I think it's because he's a business guy. He's an opportunistic guy, and he has some sort of trouble, like a big ego problem, when he realized that Apple defeated the Windows system regarding viruses, and now he probably had a virus thing in his head. But I don't think he would be such a bad person, such a stupid idiot guy, to risk his fortune and to affect his ego, because the stories break out at some point. So I don't think he would be that stupid to do some sort of a manipulation and order viruses, and so he had the antivirus. Those are the conspiracy theories, which I don't believe in that, because it messes up your day. So I think he just jumped for the opportunity. He is happy to say that I told you, you need this, you need mandatory vaccination. And like any other business people who are now taking advantage of this pandemic. Lots of people are making money, like pharmaceuticals are trying to come up with this and that. So it's an opportunity for lots of people. Lots of people sell emergency supplies and stuff, so it's an opportunity. But the virus, I don't know if it came from China or something. I think the same thing goes with these political leaders. If they are not so at the local level, like at the country level, they got the opportunity to have control. Some of those. I mean, it's difficult task to have control, but they got that opportunity, and now if they can take the liberties away from the citizens, oh yes, let's do that. So I'm not saying that every country has that, but there are countries who, the leader want to be in a control. They want to have full power, full authority, and now is the time. So I'm not going for those conspiracy theories that the virus was ordered by whatever. So now back to, before I finish this recording, back to what I was trying to say. So people need to be self-sufficient, self-reliant. So don't pass this responsibility on your leaders, your political leaders. Don't point fingers to those guys. It's not their job to supply you with food and healthcare and insurance and stuff. It's your job. So if I have the reference point, the like hundreds of years ago, when the kings got the power, so nobody had the right to vote anything. So the king got the power, inherited the power or something, or maybe they killed the brother and got a kingdom. And now people had to pay tax. And what they got in return for the tax? Nothing. Nothing. So now you pay tax and you expect a lot. No, so people pay tax, and at some point they paid everything they had, and they had nothing. And if they had, they did not pay their stuff to the king, they got killed, and or their daughters raped and wives taken away or something. You were powerless at those times and got sick. What the hospital? Where was the hospital? So you call some guy who kind of knew something to pull a tooth out or something, and that's it. So people now these days have a lot, And the more you give people, the more they expect. The same with kids. You give the kids some rights and you give the kids money and something, then you wreck their future. Depends on the kids. So some kids, they take what they get with wisdom, including money. They amplify the money because money is energy. Even the wisdom is energy, it's a mental energy. So they take that information, including money, and they use it and multiply it and they grow. But lots of kids who are generally followers, you give them the money, waste the money. They waste the money and they want more. And when you don't have, they complain. Same with the average person. Average person, you give them rights, they want more rights. If you stop giving them rights because you can't, or if it's impossible because of this type of pandemic or something, then they get out on the streets and they don't realize, you know what, I have to do things for you to protect you and your neighbor, your parents and stuff, right? So it's a fine balance for this government. So I'm not blaming this Canadian Prime Minister for whatever doing or not doing, because he is not an expert in his field. He got to the power, political power, for different other reasons, but he was never the best in his field, like, or the health minister or something. Whoever has the mental energy to focus on to a political career, those guys cannot have the same, cannot have enough mental capacity and power to focus on being the best in their field. So if you're best on your field, you have limited mental capacity to be best in your field, and you do the best as you can, your trade, your skill. And but it takes energy to climb the ladder as in a career, or if in a let's say leadership in your company. So you need to fight other people who want the same thing, want the same bone, and require lots of mental capacity. Unless you have skills from the childhood that you learn from the parents, but it requires speaking skill, require games, mental games and stuff, politics and stuff, dealing with bullshit, dealing with gossip and stuff. So that takes you away from your talent. So what I'm trying to say is very rare to see a person who's very talented into their field and be good at politics. Very rare. And that person might climb the ladder into their company. And I'm saying that people at the top of the political leadership, they have some counseling or some advisor or some ministers, and they pass those responsibilities. Okay, I'm dealing now with a food supply. Okay, I have a minister into that field. Or I'm dealing with forests or something. Oh, I have a minister in that. And those also have their own advisors, because those guys are political guys, are not really the best into managing that specific field, right? So just be aware of that. Those guys are not gods, not gods. So don't pass the responsibility for your family and for yourself into someone else. Be responsible. So plant seeds, plant food, take care of your food supply. Yes, learn new skills, learn to fish, get outside in the nature, do things to maintain your body, and consider that you have nobody else. Nobody else, it's just you. Everything is on you. Okay, so let you go. I have to go. Bye bye.